the slide. Okay, hello everyone. My name is Chandrina. I'm a third year resident from Cambodia. Today I would like to present a case about sinonasal lesion. So before I start, I would like to thank to Dr. Elizabeth Richarda for helping me guide me through this presentation, and also thank to Open Pathology for let me in and do the presentation. So the first case, our case is from a 55 years old male presenting with unilateral nasal obstruction, rhinorrhea, and mild epistaxis evolving for 3 months. His endoscopic examination showed there is a pink tan polypoid mass with a convoluted cerebriform surface on the left lateral wall of the nose. So this is a coronal section of a CT scan that show there is a lesion on the lateral wall of the nasal cavity with and it's located in the middle meatus. And for the microscopic, at the low power, we see that there are proliferative epithelial lesions that have a downward growth from the surface. There are also some nests with lobulated pattern that embedded in the stromal fibrous stromal background. And at closer examination, we see that the tumor composed of the squamous epithelial that the border is well circumscribed and there is no visible invasion appearance. So at high power, we see the tumor nest composed of the squamous cell that is monomorph, and we didn't see any atypia or pleomorphs, and there are no mitotic activity seen. And we also see that there are respiratory type epithelium in the nest. And there are also many neutrophils and forming the microabscess in the tumor as well. Here is another nest of the tumor. They also have a well circumscribed border, and the epithelium are also squamous immature epithelium with many microabscess and neutrophil, and the surface of some area composed of respiratory type epithelium. So the summary of the histologic feature of this lesion, there are endophytic non-destructive growth pattern that grow downward into the hypocellular stroma, and the nest of the tumor composed of the hyperplastic immature non-keratinizing epithelial with ciliated respiratory type epithelium, and the basement membrane, as we see, there is intact and there are no evidence of invasion. And we didn't see any cytological pleomorphism or prominent abnormal mitotic activity. And the associated sign, there are neutrophil and scatter microabscess. So can anyone guess the diagnosis?
So someone wrote it in the chat, so this is your opportunity to say it out loud. I won't read it for you. Do you want to unmute?
I guess that's an inverted squamous papilloma.
Mm, quite similar. uh, it is sinonasal papilloma inverted type because it's the tumor arising from the sinonasal respiratory tract epithelium, so we call it sinonasal papilloma, and the pattern is inverted, so it's inverted type. Are there any questions related to this diagnosis? So if there is no question, I would like to come. Oh, yeah, yeah. I cannot hear you, brother.
How to different between hello?
Yeah. I can hear now.
How to different from the well squamous cell carcinoma well differentiate G1? How to differentiate?
Yes. Squamous cell carcinoma. The cell should be with atypia and it's disorganized. And there are also some invasion. Invasion of the basement membrane can show that it is the cancer, and it's squamous cell carcinoma. Is it what? Okay, any more question? Okay, if no, I would like to continue. So what is sinonasal papilloma? Sinonasal papilloma is a benign neoplasm that arrives from sinonasal respiratory epithelium that it is called a Schneiderian membrane that the membrane cover the nasal and sinus, and it is, even though the benign lesion, but it also locally locally aggressive, that it can affect the adjacent structure of the lesion. And there are three types. There are inverted, exophytic, and oncocytic. It is uncommon, but histologic recognition. Oh, sorry, I got lost my slide. I couldn't see my slide. Sorry, please give me a few minutes. Can you see my slide?
Yeah.
Okay. There is some error in my Zoom, so please give me a few minutes. Okay. Even they are uncommon, but the histologic recognition does matter because some subtype of the papilloma can recur and can be associated with the carcinoma or transform into a carcinoma. So in order to remember, we need to remember the important key. The exophytic, it's it means it's grow outwards, and it happen in the anterior septum. It have a papillary front, and it associated with low risk HPV. And for the inverted papilloma, it has inverted growth that it's grow down into the stromal. It's arising in the lateral wall and sinus, and the feature is it has a broad invertedness. It associated it with EGFR alteration, and the oncocytic type, there are arising in the lateral wall and the sinus as well, and it has oncocytic cell, and it has a KRAS mutation. So for the inverted papilloma, it has commonly, it is the most common subtype, and it's occupy around 50 to 70% of all papilloma, and it happens mostly in men, that the ratio is 2 to 3 times compared to women. And it's also happen in the older adult at the peak age of 60 years. It classically arrives from the lateral nasal wall and paranasal, that especially it's in the ethmoid and maxillary sinus. Its feature have the broad ribbon and nest of a secant epithelium that extend exophytically into the stroma, and it have some associated sign that we frequently meet, like there are neutrophil and scatter macroabscess in the tumor nest, and the recurrent rate for the inverted papilloma is around 12 to 16%, and the malignant transformation is around 2 to 4%. Most of the inverted papilloma have a EGFR mutation, but the small minority have associated with low risk HPV infection. Here is the microscopic picture of the inverted. This is might be the surface of the papilloma that should be respiratory type. But here we see that there are hyperplastic squamous epithelium that grow downwards into the stroma, but there is no invasion in the basement membrane, and some nests have a lobulated pattern. And in the right picture, there are also clear cell with collocyte-like appearance, and some cells also have a binucleation, that the feature look associated with low risk HPV. For the exophytic papilloma, it's also male predilection because it happened to the men for 2 to 10 times more than women, and we met it with around 20 to 50-year-old, range from 2 to 87 years, and it commonly arising from the lower anterior nasal septum. The microscopic feature of this papilloma, it has papillary or varicoid front with fibrovascular top, and for the epithelium that cover the fibrovascular are a thick layer of non-keratinizing squamous epithelium that it can mix with a respiratory epithelium. There is also some scatter mucocyte and intraepithelial neutrophil in this type of papilloma, and we also need to be sure that it doesn't have any inverted or oncocytic component. And this type of papilloma has a strong association with low risk HPV, especially type 6 and 11. And the recurrent rate is quite high. It's around 22 to 50%, and it related to an inadequate excision. And for the malignant transformation, the type is extremely rare. Here is the microscopic. It is the fibrovascular core, and the epithelial that cover it have a multiple layer, and it is a non-keratinizing squamous cell. And for this high power, we see that there are a clear cytoplasm, and the nuclei is irregular. It's supposed to be a qualocyte because it associated with a HPV infection. And for the oncocytic sinonasal papilloma, it happened in male and female at the same rate, and in other adult we see more frequently in 60 to 70 years that this lesion is also arise from lateral nasal cavity and maxillary sinus. And for the microscopic feature of this lesion, there are two patterns. There are mix of exophytic and endophytic architecture, and the cell that is composed of multi-layer of oncocytic subunal or columnar cell with abundant granular eosinophilic cytoplasm. We also see there are microcysts, mucocysts, neutrophil, and microabscess, like the two other papilloma. And this one, there's no HPV association, and it has all KRAS mutation. The recurrent rate is vary from 6 to 40%, and the malignant transformation is around 3 to 17%. For this microscopic appearance, we see that there are papillary architecture as it has a fibrovascular core, and the cell look columnar cell and with the pink cytoplasm. And here we see that the cell have endophytic growth around here. For the high power, we see there are columnar cell, and some have a few layer, and some have a single layer. The cytoplasm is granular, and there are ciliated, and there is a microcyst and also microabscess around here, and there are also neutrophils scattered in the epithelium. So, how to approach the histology of the sinonasal papilloma? At first, we start at low power. We identify the overall architecture and ask that, is it exophytic, endophytic, or is it mixed? And are there any oncocytic cell? And then we need to examine the epithelial stromal interface to see if there have any invasion or there have any irregularity of the basement membrane. And then at high power, we assess, are there any maturation or loss of maturation, and are there any cytologic atypia or an increased mitotic activity. And we need to look for characteristic clue like neutrophil or microabscess, because in the three type of papilloma, there is always have neutrophil and microabscess. So it's quite specific to this lesion. And finally, we need to find is there any dysplasia or carcinoma in any where in the slide. So are there any question? Okay, if no, I would like to continue to the case 2. Case 2, it is from a 50-year-old male that come with a right maxillary sinus tumor. And in the MRI picture, we see that the tumor, this is the axial section of the MRI that cut from the nose. We see that, and in the maxillary cavity, a maxillary sinus, there is a wide tumor that have enhancement, and it is also invaded into the nasal cavity. In the microscopic appearance, we see from the low power, we see that there are multiple fragments with proliferation of the tumor in the stroma. The architecture of the tumor is lobulated, and in this area, it has a broad nest of a tumor. This area looks bluer than on the right one, and in the right part there are a pink material inside the tumor nest, and the basement membrane is seem like irregular. At closer examination, I would like to start from the left part of the picture first. Start from around here. So we see that there are lobulated lesion with well circumscribed border without any visible invasion, and the cell are squamous epithelial that is immature, and there is also a microcyst in the surface. So at high power, we see that there is the top layer that composed of respiratory type epithelium, and under that we see the tumor nest have multiple microabscess, and the squamous epithelium that is hyperplastic, and yes, there are also neutrophil. So on the right side that we see there are so pink, we see that the nest is kind of irregular, and it's like here is, and the here we cannot see the basement membrane, and somewhere. Okay, and if we look at the cell, we see that some cell have a blue and some have a white appearance. So I want to look closer to the lesion. And the lesion here, we see that the cell are squamous cell. And if we look closer at high power, we see that